Today I'm going to talk about how to call SharpCap from Nina. And you might want to do this if you are running an all-sky camera or something like that. And this is inside of a continuously running Nina script that I have out at my remote telescope, but can be incorporated into really any sequence. The way we're going to do that is by calling an external script. Inside of this box is where I do that. And this is not essential for the operation, but I have an expression for if it's safe. So if the roof is open, sends me a Discord message, and then it executes this batch script here. So what that script is, this actually invokes a PowerShell script because I couldn't get Nina to execute the PowerShell script directly. I needed to use PowerShell because if I ran the commands to open SharpCap in a batch script, then Nina was waiting for the command to finish. That is to say, for the capture to complete in SharpCap in order to move on to the next Nina instruction. Obviously, that wasn't going to work because then it would take the SharpCap video all night, but wouldn't move on to the next part of the Nina sequence, like for actual imaging. So, but if I used PowerShell, then it would kind of send a exit command to Nina so that it could continue on to the next step. So that PowerShell script, I had Google AI write this one for me. I don't really do a lot of PowerShell, but it was a pretty simple ask for it to do. So I have three variables: SharpCap, script, and camera. SharpCap is the location of sharpcap.exe on my computer. This is the normal install location unless you change it. Script is a Python script I wrote and that I'll go through here in a minute. Does the camera selection and loads the correct profile so that it will run the, in this case, my pier camera out at Starfront with the settings that I want, and a couple other things in there. It actually starts the recording in there. We'll go through the Python script in a second. And then the camera, which is the name of the camera here. So the actual command is start process, with saying that the file path is at SharpCap, which is this file path here that we defined. The argument list is run script, the script that we defined, and then the camera argument is the camera name that we defined up here, and then window style hidden, I think just doesn't show the command window when it runs. All right, so in that Python script, now you don't need to actually have Python installed on your remote computer for this. This runs inside of SharpCap using SharpCap's built-in IronPython. And I actually had Google help me write this one too. Surprisingly, it knew a lot about ASCOM, so that was exciting. So we use two modules, time and datetime. I define a variable PeerCam, which is the name of the profile, exactly as I have it in SharpCap. And that profile is important because it only takes a frame every 30 seconds, and it has auto exposure and things like that. I give it a target name, which SharpCap needs in order to save the file. This part is optional, and so thus is importing time and date time. But I wanted to have a different length of how long it was going to image for based on the time of year. I might come up with something more clever for this later, but for now, this was kind of the quick, easy solution of during the wintertime, it's a longer number of hours during the night, and during the summertime, it's a shorter number of hours. So this just defines a variable called capture minutes based on the time of year. And then down here, I'm creating a variable called selected camera. That's just SharpCap selected camera. I don't have to create that variable, but it's fewer characters than typing in this whole thing. And then I am setting the SharpCap target name attribute to the target name variable that I defined up here, which is PeerCam. This is a catch so that if the selected camera is none, so it's going to set the camera when it executes this line here in the PowerShell script. That's what's going to tell SharpCap to open this particular camera. But if for some reason that camera is not connected or something, then it will raise this exception and say that the camera is not found. And then it will load the profile that I've told it to. So selected camera, load capture profile. And then you can either set it to take a specific number of frames, or you can do what I do, which is continuous capture for a set number of hours. So I run the prepare to capture command, the run capture command, and then I tell it to sleep for the amount of minutes that, the amount of seconds I want to run the video for. So capture minutes is number of hours times 60, and then times another 60 to get into seconds. And then after that amount of time, then I run stop capture, and it will stop the capture, save it to disk. And then finally, I have another batch script called close SharpCap that kills the task. Otherwise, every night that it runs, it will open another instance of SharpCap and another instance of SharpCap and another instance of SharpCap. So this thing closes SharpCap. Then I call that run SharpCap script inside of Nina, like I started at the beginning. And then at the end of my sequence, I run close SharpCap.bat. An external script as a instruction is built into Nina. So let me show you just what that looks like by executing the run SharpCap batch file. This is what Nina invokes. It's the same file, so it opens SharpCap. It opens my camera, and it begins capturing. And it will continue to capture for the number of hours that I have set in my Python script. And then it will stop the capture at the end of that, and will close it when I run the close SharpCap batch file. As you can see, it loaded my capture profile, which has the color space, the capture, like the size of the image, saving it as a SER format. I strongly prefer having videos instead of thousands of PNGs, so save it as the SER format so I can watch it on my home computer. Auto exposure, then my gain setting, and my frame rate, 1 every 30 seconds, and so on and so forth. That all gets saved to the capture profile, and you can create a capture profile just by setting settings and hit save as, putting in a name, and hitting save. And that's what you need to invoke SharpCap from Nina.